this time. First of all, Wenjam, Grim Warrior. So grateful to have you today so early. Now, without much further ado, let's continue our quest and finish this Steel Soul and for all. So, Cage of one who raged against the silken line, pale hearts of frost who soars on high, past cradles speak, last test of fates, that the age may pass this room's witness. And so, let's continue looking, the Herald. Hey, Bonjam, Clara. Welcome in. My day is pretty decent. What about yours? There you are. Glad to hear. Day has been cool. I am glad to hear that. Nothing special, that does happen sometimes. Not all days can be remarkable. At the bottom of a well, you can only look up. The past is hidden from those who look forward. Those echoes may guide you still. Yes, that's true. For the kind-hearted, a weapon can also be a friend. You're so eager to follow in her footsteps, but what are you leaving for those who come next? Oh, excuse me. Thornton knew you could say. My expertise certainly... well, my experience with it certainly isn't the most professional yet. But I've been doing it for a little bit by now, so... I guess could say I'm sorta new to it. And what was the pale heart of frost who soars on high? Don't wanna drag our conversation? Oh, don't worry about it. We have time to talk if that's what you desire. Alright, go ahead, ask me. Just give me a moment, got something. Mount Faye. Oh wow. That's pretty good. Ah. Untap. A small artist of... oh. Give me a moment. There we go. Small artist offering custom art. Hello. Sorry, I would like to see your work because I quite appreciate art, but I am in no place to start buying stuff. I'm sorry. So I am not the person you could sell stuff to, sadly. I wish you luck finding someone that can actually buy from you, though. Nothing up there. And also, I just like to draw myself, although I'm not against buying it. Well, resuming things, I basically just don't have the money to buy. I'm sorry. At best I could do you a trade, but I don't think you're interested in that, sorry. But Mr. Mushroom readjust. Stone will break and still shall rust. Cups and shells may fall to dust. Lies and roots must be discussed. Cups and shells may fall to dust. But Mr. Mushroom readjusts. One can visit the past, but then memories become contradictory. When the color rings out again, will you let your previous actions cloud your vision? My boys, history always rises to meet us. Oh, excuse me. You are beautiful. Last cradle speak, last test of this. Whoa! New. Groceries. Oh, shells. Now let's check if there's anything well hard. hero's skull, a distressed Pach was heard calling for help at the bellway atop the great sandy steps. Will no one come to the sad Gretch's aid? Hero's skull. And we have completed our journal. One, two, three, which one? Oh no, it's just those two.
Maradin.
Pathfind?
Maradin.
I'm sorry, I cannot help right now. To the hero's skull we must go. Blasted steps. Asa! Allow me to gear up for this. Follow quickly! Hurry, hurry! Follow quickly! Friend Spider! Hunter in red! Follow quickly! Actually, give me a moment, I need to do something quick. There we go. Geared up and prepared. Oh my. Heck. There we go.
Kadastama.
Sir Knight, I am sorry. It was the only means to free you from the cursed threats. Oh, fret not, little one. Be proud, you've grown so strong. Sasa, let us rest a little, and then we'll be away. Oh, oh, oh. So strong, so kind, brave to the end. Thank you. Opa, old friend. Let's make it back home. Brave to the end. Opa, friend. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, garments. Oh, well. Ushanka. Towards, well,
Yanara.
the time is close, Chakra. The cost was grave and the challenge steep. But I have claimed the power that can put end to this disaster. Genda! This is good, Hornet-wielding needle. Essential. My own strength has near reached its limit, and the Dark Husk continue their assault on Issy. Take your final action, and let us all see the end of this. Let us all reach the end. Boop. Wow, you're tanky. The rings are fun to throw around. Ushanka! He's grown up. You had feared that the awful rumblings of the world or sticky black threads had snatched you away from her.
Nesvir,
I have survived now, and shall fight on while my strength remains. The kingdom has grown darkly dangerous, but this hard home seems to still provide some safety. I suggest you remain here for now.
No.
Of course, you shall stay inside. The sickening sense of those twisted threads has spoiled the joy of my venturing. Of course. You thought, Miss Grown-Up, is now the perfect time to fully complete. You though, Miss Grown-Up, is now the perfect time to complete your journey.
No, Ursula.
The world rumbling will surely have scared up many creatures from their hiding places. So go and hunt and show Sweet New what you learn.
Oh no.
Come to rest here, Miss Grown-Up, and let me see your journal, for she's here to see your cuts. Wow, Miss Grown-Up! Your journal is bursting with every sort of creature, overflowing. Surely we can call this complete.
Ursula?
To think that such a task could even be done, so clever is New. To have set such a fierce predator into the work.
Fadastama.
These vast lands hold so much life, and to catalog it all has taught me greatly. It is an effort worth continuing, even after I leave this kingdom.
Ursula.
Uma, such a hunger is worth it. You and I are a court, Miss Grown-Up. Hunters both. Our methods are different, but our appetites have become very similar. Who has for you this token? A symbol of all your efforts and a marker of your true nature. It carries with it her sweet, sweet smell.
Hunter's Memento.
Ursula?
And now, Miss Grown-Up, the task is done. You must be away. But do not be sour, just think. Barnum is only one land. So many more must hide out there, full with beasts and scents and tastes, all waiting to be discovered.
No, Ursula.
For you, your journey is only at its start, and for you, Miss Grown-Up, who wishes to your happy hunting much and more. Goodbye, Noob. Some bye to Noob. Some bye-bye, and I hope travels allow you to reach far. The last vector. Safety still. Ta-da. We finally all mementos. Yum. Bonjam, Dolin. Nice to have you today. Memento, hero, vampire, heart. There is something. I kind of want to read all of this, but the task is daunting. It's a lot to read. Then we have all of this to do. Oh. I don't know, in a way I have already read them, just not at the same time. That could be a little bit too boring. Well, let's do a little bit. Still, mind thread spun the soul of its creature. Highly coveted, its remarkable strength and mystical properties, used to heal wounds, extend life, with powerful shell shards, hardened fragments of shell and bone, used in the crafting of tools and traps. Rosaries, beads carved from various materials, used as a measure of faith and traded as currency. Each is etched with a fine pattern design. Shell rosaries, beads carved from polished shell. The finer material reflects their increased value. Well, it isn't that much, so sure. And let's play a few of these while we wait a little bit. I might need to go for a little bit more water after this though. May not have enough, but we'll see about that. Pearl rosaries, gleaming pearl carved over with intricate marking. The rarest and most highly valued rosaries of Farloom. Mossberry, sweet fruit that grows in moist environments. Its seeds are toxic to creatures. Mossberry stew. Big syrupy soup of mossberries and Druidic herbs, sweet and aromatic but poisonous to most creatures. Pilgrim shawl. Simple garment worn by several pilgrims over the ages. Torn, tattered and repaired many times over. Flintstone. How many cylinders are 6. Okay. Flintstone. Long burning rock from the base of Farlow. Mined and used by the Citadel in its forging. Gem-like organ taken from a flint beetle. Gem-like organ taken from a flint beetle. Fuses incendiary sparks when abraded and may explode if cracked or dropped. Craft metal, a element found naturally within the rock and bone of Farlow, used by skilled craftsmen in the construction of tools and trinkets. Spine core, flexible fiber from within a hunter's spine, can be woven into garments and accessories by a skilled seamstress. From fragment, large spike of bone collected from a defeated skull tyrant. Horn fragment, hardened chunk of horn shell collected from a defeated savage eye. Silver bell, finely forged bell made from a gleaming metal. Pale oil, oil gland of a rare Sylvian slot. Talented pins masters can use the glistening liquid to improve a blade sharpness. Plasmium, liquid life seed possessed of remarkable regenerative qualities, a substance foreign to Farlow introduced by the alchemist Xylotl. Plasmified blood of a creature merged full with liquid life seed, possesses powerful regenerative qualities. Frag belt, tattered belt taken from the body of a crab, fragile and rough. It is considered to have few practical uses. Olive heart, core of a flower formed around the body of a consumed wasp. Secretes a sticky sap that the wasps subsist on. Poach guts, fresh innards of a mackerel, tough and slimy with a rankle, unpalatable to most. Career swag, heavy cloth sack containing tools, trinkets and medical aids. What the heck, this hacking cylinder is awful. Liquid lacquer, pale glazed used in the preparations and protection of bone masks. Career thrasher, fatty meat of indeterminate origin. Once prepared, it will quickly spoil if not stored properly. Vintage nectar, high quality nectar of a long-lived age, kept in storage over many lifetimes to allow a complete maturation. Pickled maggot, pungent delicacy preserved in roach brine, the most famous creation of the disgraced chef Polly. Crustnut, tough fort seed, the center of a corpora cluster, stale to taste but strong once ground as seasoned. Steel spine, hard-forged spines intended for heavy machinery, unable to pierce through even the toughest shell. Heck, that's disgusting. War cloak, garment gifted to pilgrims on advance to the Citadel. Its thick whip offers additional protection against wind and fall. Brittle levitating rock, found throughout the edges of Farlow. Magnetite. Root Mother's Eye, a gelatinous organ collected from the defeated Root Mother. Seared organ, meat harvested from a defeated creature he had been seared in a way that noticeably affects the flavor. Gate track from the core with a dream of assistance. Shredded organ. Meat harvested from a defeated creature. It has been diced into fine chunks. Skewered organ. Meat harvested from a defeated creature. It has been cleanly speared through, but it's otherwise intact. This is pretty. Anyways, Poltridiant. Hard charge stone that can catch store and discharge electricity. Hermit soul. A belt filled with the shimmering soul of the Bell Hermit. Maiden soul. Vial gifted by the chapel maid. Filled full with swirling soul. Seeker's soul. Cracked shell containing soul drawn from a long deceased bug. Fallen heart. An living heart of Nylet beats faint and fast. And living Hunter's heart. A living heart of Scar's singer Carmelita. Its beat is steady and strong. Crusted heart. Living heart of crusting Khan. It beats deep and slow. Conjoined heart. The living heart of the green. Its beat is sharp and clear. And some relics. Bone scroll. Slinch parchment containing a pilgrim scroll. My dear companions, all are gone. Devoured, scorched, fallen to exhaustion, seduced by the hunting. Bone scroll. Faded parchment containing the last words of a lost pilgrim. There, I die here in the damp dark, and join those poor souls trapped to stumble aimless until their limbs fall to dust. Tirach Ark is fully chosen for having some crumpled parchment contain hailed heart of his fame, you who build a sea shells shark that rise breath right amongst you. Weaver F. Carving compound. Weaver of Hill. A prayer is etched upon. Weaver, heal my son. Birth heart, earth that shake at the climb bone. We pray gift that a great of friend and stand beneath. Ah shit, real. Carving of Kila. Weaver of the path. Is etched. Best for Lady of you see your sea for fresh shells. Voices will still offer your protection. Don't breed your mind fire so much. Carving blood, weaver of time, prayer and stitched on. By grace of your example, honor him to fully song. Your name, sacred quiver Atla, may you praise eternal. Oral commandment. Decree of the citadel, Virtian. Full chamber to the kingdom of the world. In the quivering half heart. Last of their line. Silk. Resistance anticipate. Oh, cage. So that's the command that they got for a hornet. Surgeon's orders. The bout has succumbed. This is incoming. Permit. Right. Ask Mark permission. A trip there. Aesthetic conduct. And law is eternity, obtained by architects. We welcome that final form of file and growth, all that when the perfect pattern forms. Latter decree of this. All of boys, grown force shall fall in vain. You have been selected. Sacred. Become or light or guide in dark. Others worthy may climb the whole dawn. Unahar, words out, spinning on thought. Hide her deep, the despised child, she shall hide. She wish cast pain, divinity mimic. Words perfect, the nest be on, and that is witness that. Hide her deep, the despised child. Shame shell of iron, she cast pain. Oh, that's Ava. They discarded Ava. Huh. They discarded Ava for being frail. Sad. That cheat free was supposed to be the part that the weavers couldn't manage to do so. Be of a weaver the furthest edge are. Ye sisters, flee until your strength last. So far you may escape, at last we're still inside. Start anew to sustain free or web and service eternal. Last word, weavers. Spiders, the burden is past. This simple box shall, but this sign shall die and pray. One become a friend of arcane death, an artifact that almost impossibly owned, marked inside with many fine edge, most decipherable, will, sell, shade. Awesome sailing. Voices of the core is say song. Last surgery of conduct performed in hardware something there. Guide track of the core would have been ascend. Guide track for the core would have been patient. Sermon of service delivered by an faint gold bird backlight. Sacred cylinder, sacred melody of the boatbursts, but the tongue claimed by the pontiff below the whispering bolts. Ascend. Sprint Master Memento, till the trophy awarded by Master Swift, Master Bach, Guardian's Age Medallion, the Wanderer's Net, a gift given in respect of great skill. Hero, Heirloom Village Lost to Farley's Hunting. Hunter's Silk Ball given for companion of a true hunt. Stamp stick. Remember, grape crust worn by sun. By time, much till time. Surface ornament of down high above Farley. Rome, iron emblem of the court, absolving the bearer of all crime past and part of the group. Speed, sharp and clear. Shin Mascar guard against Silk's artifact behind by the designed to fail Steve Anna as so the holy water talent the ancient along Swift step able dash for stop bounce portal through this like our essence of skill, sense of a pink skill and so torments thing shin down the high silk shell scan silk take comes at the canopy silk fade oh like sharp line is down full pouch for holding crafts and fine craft fine up and quill up of her once happen demonstrated ever ethical instant will what's against plasmic and saving organ the shell all out a counter she's per talent fighting a little plasmic craft lap keys to sell some passages of the pretty key of state short band on shell shards tied together can be broken craft chart chunk hard material found shell craft X Four Anesem bajo Guinea card statue, small sculpture, spurred, but still crafted as a French breaks 6 precious. Old steel stone chat of gold those I believe. Now behold your Oscar. A series of spikes, not spikes, but an massive muscle, a natural cover of red. Don't help. Yeah, a bit. Osmir, all flutter and tell its small sting. This bug is young, but fortunately saves him free of effective. I wonder why that is. Moss Mother, adult Mosmir with a fully developed stinger and hardened hide. Motherhood is an instinct that can push creatures beyond what seems their natural limits. It turns even weaker beasts like these into formidable foes. Agni, winged insect that feeds upon moss and unleashing the caves above ground. In its natural state, it would avoid potential predators, but Farlum's hunting now compels it to aggression. Fortunately, its jaws are ill-suited for combat. Skull Scuttler, a small soft bug that uses the hard skulls of the marrow to protection and disguise. In every land, the creature finds new and surprising ways to disguise themselves. One must be wary always. Skullwing, urban relative of the grounded Skull Scuttler, found only in the marrow's deepest, hottest caves. Such feeble creatures could only survive thanks to the rarity of predators in these superheated caverns. Skullboot, soft bug beneath a huge horned skull, charges at intruders to protect its territory and its smaller companions. Either its size has made it fearless, or the hunting has revoked its sense of self-preservation. Skull Tyrant, rare enormous Skull Scuttler, the marrow's largest predator, and the most feared for its ferocious temperament. Though surely fierce, the skull it bears looks taken from an even larger beast. If not for the bones as proof, I would scarcely believe sparks to such scale. Helic, small bony bug that favors dark tunnels, can expand its spikes capparas to ward against attacking predators. I am fond of simple effective traps such as this bug's extensible spikes, and an unwary predator would be skewered clean through. Beastfly, aggressive fly of Farlum's lowlands, rams prey with its harpoon mask. Dancing around this simple creature as it charges back and forth is the sort of game I delighted as a child. Alas, I now have more pressing matters to attend to. Stretch Beastfly, angered adult beastfly with a weighty body and a big and hard shell mask. Civilization encroaches from this kingdom's crown, but the lowlands are still ruled by great beasts. Its roar stirs something deep within me, some primal instinct. Karani, common winged bug of the lowlands, generally docile, but will attack if threats come close. Their prone shape makes them well suited for target practice. Difficult is testing the aim of them. Vicious Cardi. Aggressive wind path of the lowlands. When angered, it rapidly whips its blade tail as a weapon. Its wings are quite small compared to its bulk. Perhaps it uses the warm air of these fiery lands to help stay airborne. Clever, if so. Hardbone Hopper. Racing creature with sharp senses that naturally retreats from danger. Despite the hunting of its shell, it has not been overcome with aggression. Its desire to flee remains too strong. Hardbone Elder. Tall creature with sharp senses. Defends its herd with powerful legs and a sharp-tipped mask. There is surprising strength hidden in their thin, elegant limbs. It would be a pleasure to ride upon it. Tarmite. Flying bone mite that lives near magma roasts. Its prey roast its prey but by splitting scorching tar. Its sticky spit would make a useful crafting material if molded fresh. Fortunately, I cannot stop experiments. Mauling. Young bony bug that can crawl in its body to form a ball. The rough, rich shell grips tight to any surface. Even walls and roofs become targets for this nimble bug. Marrowmaw. Giant ruler of the lowlands, its rich hide will crush smaller creatures beneath. Sheer bulk makes for an effective weapon, but requires much sustenance. This creature would have spent most of its time eating. An acceptable life for some. Hawker, spine-shooting drifter of the lowlands. Whatever admiration I had for its fleecy down is spoiled by its disturbing mask, and its steely spines. Flint beetle, rarely seen beetle that spends most of its life nestled in bone rock. The gems of its shell excrete an explosive powder. Its bright gems could be used to make beautiful but short-lived jewelry. Missing idea for a gift. Or a trap. Rhinogran. Longhorned beast of Farluk's lowlands. Relies on its horn both to impale and to wrench the ground beneath it, flinging dangerous debris. Certain tools and skills can pierce its defenses. I should adjust my strategy as needed. Grumbling. Young musk worm that lights in ambushing intruders within its tunnels. A frustrating fiend, they flee beneath the bone weather whenever I try to strike them down. Grom. Burrowing worm that uses its many planted feet to dig even the hardest bone. They ceaselessly churn through rock and bone that ever seem to rest. They have a destination, or are they compelled to dig forever deep? Bell beast. Eira. Huge hardbone bug that lives within and travels through the veins of old bells across Farluk. This one has allied themselves to me, either as thanks for their saving or respect for one judged as if, whichever the reason, their fellowship is welcome. Pilgrim Groveler, basic bug of Farlum laid low upon the ground. Taken by Farlum's hunting, the bug is now capable of little more than prey and aggression. Pilgrim Panzer, agile bug of Farlum. Its higher functions have been lost to the hunt. With a softer shell than most, they would have relied on their athleticism to survive. Pilgrim Horn, short pilgrim that uses their long horn to launch upon threats. Spirit equipped this one well. In its assault it becomes its own projectile. Pilgrim Hawk,
sturdy Bach lost to the hunting, rolls to threats with no care for its own discomfort. A rare-built Bach within peace-aligned lands, whose pilgrim shells seem small by comparison. What nourishment did they discover to grow so large? Pilgrim Bellbearer. A common Bach wielding a set of old bells. The Bach will fling the bells at anyone it deems still free. Their bells would once have rung with hope and mirth, lifting the spirits of any climbing companions. Sadly, those instruments have turned purely combative. It Pilgrim, short Bach, born with undeveloped light it possesses, only just it may live down, but those that wing never carry it far. Elder Pilgrim, big set Bach consumed by hunting, uses their solid frame to crush others. Lucky Bach to be able to grow old, where Loom's growths take most much earlier. Winged Pilgrim Bellbearer, a pilgrim endowed with large wings carrying a brace of iron bells. On uneven terrain, their union of light and range can prove a challenge even. Pilgrim Hiker, large Bach with a climber's spin, their being once aid has become a weapon, though the Bach is unrefined in its use. A Bach once frail, pushed by twisted thread beyond its mortal limits. Pilgrim Guide, old pilgrim carrying a heavy iron bell staff. The large bell seems to signify them as once leader of a climbing group, though the hunting has erased that former authority. Overgrown Pilgrim, aged pilgrim overgrown with lesion and wounds. The moss looks to grow even inside their stomach, which the pilgrims spit at foes in compressed cups, a foul form of offense. Covetous Pilgrim, strong Bach replete with rosaries. Angered, they would whip their strings a ceaseless onslaught. In this abundance, is this abundance a sign of purity or greed? The way fate is measured in this land is curious indeed. Snitchfly, pernicious looter found all over Farlow. While these bothersome Bachs are left free to forage, whose rosary or trinket is safe. Lavala, sticky mollusk that defends itself by spraying burning it from roads on its back. What seems at first purely defensive mechanism may also be necessary to reduce excess heat. Lava Larga, fully grown mollusk able to unleash a gushing torrent of burning liquid from its back. To survive while storing so much searing fluid within, before I would have believed it impossible, but for home to many marvels. Smelt Shoveler, low-level worker lost to Farlow hunting. Instinct keeps them at their task, much simpler function than before. This kingdom appears more advanced in metal than my own ever was, in greater part due to the natural heat soared at its base. Working in such an environment is an impressive feat. Flintstone Flyer, aerial worker lost to Farlow hunting, bears a pouch full with flintstone, which they will fling at intruders. That incendiary material they carry is a natural wonder with many potential applications. What a waste to carelessly throw it at me wherever I pass by. Flint Flame Fire, brave worker carrying unstable flame, wearing a heavy belt to protect against potential ignition. Theirs would be a high-risk life followed by a short searing end. Smoke Rogue Sifter, symbol bearing worker on the deep ducts. Once the hands of Mogrove find traces of more precious materials. The hunting has stolen some important part of this path. Yet still they attempt their former task until that is, they sense my presence. Deep Diver. Well, Gladbach responsible for mining the deeper treacherous depths below their docks. Their heavier bells harm them well against my strike, but against that oppressive heat, can they help at all? Forge Brothers, Signis and Kron, elder overseers of the deep docks, responsible for the oversight and punishment of lesser workers. Lost to the madness of the hunting, they still commanded the endless excavation of their caves. Krachlite, infant form of the more formidable Krachler. Left to grow, these young bugs would fight for dominance until remain. Krachler, deep-plated scuttler that prefers high places. Holds an extensive supply of searing acid in a layered sac with shell. The acid rains from its mouth upon any creature it sees as food. Yeah, I did correct. Okay, let's continue. Crash lift. Tiny timid creatures that huddle blocks and flee at the first hint of danger. They claw to warn their fellows at the smallest sense of threat. A successful hunt here means staying silent, hidden right up until the decisive strike. Verdit. The skittish crumbler of the far fields. Antany resembles stalks of grass to aid in camouflage. It has no means to defend itself. Its only hope to survival is to be mistaken for plants. Lapim Verdit. Oselbach to meet the grasses of the far fields, a common snack for larger predators. When roosting, it would look convincingly plant-like. Light in its bulbous body quickly ruins the root. Bored corpse, lowering iron automaton driven by rotor and cock. A terrifying achievement of Arlu to build a construct so large and yet so little. Just impressive, yeah. Scarly. Small burrowing ant servant to the larger Scar. These bugs work mainly as finders and feeders to the warriors of their tribe. Combat has long been their nature. Scarwing. Darting predator that clings fast to wolves and outcrops, often summoned to aid its larger. They would make effective hunting companions, though even without the hunting, I suspect their loyalty will always remain in their clan. Scar Scout. Young and hunter wielding sickles scarf. Often call for aid if despite their youth, they are impressive opponents. Seems like their tribe worked
trained for combat first. Scar Stalker, skilled and hunter wearing blade and armor fashioned from bone. Fierce, strong, and disciple, yet these qualities do not protect them from the hunt. Is such a fate inevitable in these lands? Spear Scar, winged and hunter that strikes from the air with its bone lance. My Jove, I am well passed with. I even fancied I might grow a pair. I have since learned better. Accept the limitations of this body, and augment with tools as needed. Scarguard, huge hunt hunter tasked to protect the stores and passages of its tribe. Theirs is the perfect shell for their duty, a wall of a warrior, and a adept fight. If I hope to claim their treasures, I must bring my best. Grr the Outcast, huge yet stealthy Discard, an expert trapper and a master of the undergrowth. His tracks and traps should have been obvious from the start. This old hunter sought to draw me, but what reason drove him to test himself so brutal? The answer I suspect I shall never know. Last Claw, elite former hunter acting as the final line of defense before their mother. Their skill once saw them chosen, and I can plainly see why. They would have lived and trained only for this duty. Scar Singer Carmelita, some wing the Scar and their most talented warrior. This graceful ruler once possessed skill to rival my own. At her youthful peak, her boys united all Scar in her service. Oops. Might. Hermes pest common throughout the dark corners of Grim. Individually they offer little challenge. Their numbers are surely vast and most remain hidden. Latter Might. Airborne pest less common than its grounded sibling. Attacks with sharp fangs if agitated. Similar paths would gnaw away at unguarded supplies. As a child, I would hunt them, eager to make it myself and test my skills. Might Mother, aged female might, grown larger and strong. Skin, poor of sight but possessing a keen sense of smell. Spoke charge at foreign sense. Many years so far in age is a memorable trait. Dreg Catcher, Bach charge to catch dregs of silk that fall from the city. Will attack with its staff if provoked. These Bachs look to have spent every waking at their work. Grim endless labor in service of the unseen citadel above. Silk Snipper, scissor-wielding Bach charge to cut and spool fallen dregs of silk returned to the citadel above. Is it the hunting that drove them to cackling madness, or was there an toil the cast and that? Red Racker, Albach charged to pile silk dregs in preparation for his pull. Their sharp rake now doubles equally well as a stabbing weapon. There seems a sad, cruel task serving their lifetime for a citadel at sea. Or winged might beast breed large to catch workers who once tried to fit their tasks. With its wranglers long dead, the stacked the tower grim, feasting on passing pilgrims, tenders alike. This short-lived sprite born. Live only a single bright moment. What would one feel? Is it glorious or or only despair? Could it be both mixed? Burning Bach, many legged insect fanatically obsessed with flame. These ones somehow learned to communicate the scorching wisp that shared their ticket. Whether the dominance or reverence is unclear. Mother of the Flame, totem and god built and worshipped by the burning Bachs. The remains of an aged Bach were housed at the buyer's heart. The structure suggested they wished for immolation. If so, I have seen their wish granted. Gra, screeching scavenger that must hide in caverns and preys on passing pilgrims. By this swooping menace, a simple Bach could be easily overcome. More dangerous still, they rarely attack alone. Oh, Gra. Gra-winged adult Grabach bearing a scavenge pig. Far more hostile than their younger companions, but seemingly less likely to be far from their nest. Squat Crow, sprout adult Grabach bearing several short fins. A cowardly sort. They will try to remain at range to throw their sharp weapons. Best to rush them down, cut them quick. Korajur, screeching scavenger tied black in playing at their land's collapse. Weak, afraid, unaware of the intent, I understand their desperation, but my death will not prevent their coming fall. All Korajur, Elder Grabach serving in a sacred ceremony. Curiosity saw me answer their summons, but I shall not allow them to stall me. I must work fast to his grand state. Squad Courage, short Elder Grabach eagerly serving in their court. They seek to slay their own chance of survival. Alas, my words will fall useless. I have on my blade to offer response. Raw Father, Lord and Justice of our loose cross, delivers death to condemn Bachs with its steel-plated beak. Did he recognize my part played in this land's void strong fate? If so, perhaps his judgment was not unfair. To these Bachs I have brought much destruction. Maggot, mindless infant larva coated in big slime. They cling fast to the shells of other Bachs, destroying any hope for concentration or comfort. Slabberslag, younger form of a macroach, attacks prey by leaping from the water and snapping with its flexible jaws. These creatures look to have been bred deliberately. What depends. If they are food to be, their scent suggests they must taste vile. Macroach, stark-backed Bah with an insatiable appetite. Despite their tough height and pungent meat, roaches breed rapidly, so are sometimes famed, so are sometimes farmed for a revolting creature. I shall itches at their presence. Depends where their numbers grow vast. Rubber on edge. Bloodroach, obese offshoot of macroaches, born of the citadel's exhaust smoke. The winged roach's sagging stomach is filled with sizzling bile. Its form is absurd. Surely it should not be able to keep itself in the air. The noxious gases in its stomach must provide its levity. Roach catcher, short nimble Bach who uses barbed bolas to keep its corralled and caged. Their throwing weapon is well suited to the wide caverns they inhabit. These sly little Bachs must have a keen claw for crafting. Roach feeder, dull roach tender charged to feed mock roachers on a lit giant maggot. The feeders triggered. The feeder scroll pin looks designed to keep Ravenous Roach at bay and the tender from turning the meal. Roach Keeper. Grizzled old roach tender weighted with a lasso of heavy chain. Though their mind is largely lost, their skill with chain has not been forgotten. Does the hunting eternally bind a bug task it had in life? Roach Server. Brutish cook responsible for dicing bug meat in edible portions. Would their actions be called skill? I see only a crude man it, yet I wonder before the hunt narrowed their minds any different. Disgraced Chef Lol. Once exalted chef exiled from the Citadel for repeated culinary crimes. Returned to their home caves, this chef continued to devise delicacies too repulsive for any bug still sane. Anguished spectre of a lingering threat, despite its ephemeral nature, strong strikes can dispel the weight of time. Motley Flagg. A rare calmer bug of bile survives its hostile surroundings by hiding as a. This one is pretty, not as soft as first it seems. The planted minix is flaked and coarse, and the bug's coat shares similar texture. Fire mite. Crawling insect with a sizzling bile sac in its center. The dread of its exploding rear is an effective deterrent to predators, but the slightest jolt or fall can cause its premature end.
Sorry. Squid, plentiful pest with a sharp proboscis and a belly full of bile, more dangerous in the moment of its explosive and corrosive death than it ever was in life. Spit squid, covering pest with hollowed proboscis, able to spit gobs of sizzling bile. To subsist on the sickly water in this fetid environment, it spits out the most toxic elements. Generations, this former survival technique has turned into an effective hunting tool. Stilkin, cunning bug that hunts with darts fashioned from steak and bile. They know well their domain, lurking, waiting in eyeballs and paths, always ready to pounce. Stilkin trapper, trap setting bug carrying a pouch of sharpened stakes. More bothered than the bug themselves are the countless traps they have already laid throughout their caves. Roll the chief and chaplain, the Stilkin, forever raging against the citadel that shows their caves and systems suffer. This one's strength was much enhanced by stone, so they are not the first who try to hoard it, to mold it towards such violent ends. Barnack, toothy road that lives in cave. Perhaps wayward paths in its long tongue drags them up to be consumed. Hiding its stone amongst scenery, there is impressive style to this one's trickery. Ducksucker, the suction creature surviving on the thick slime that coats its caves. This mindless bug seems to sense only through its tendril. Yet despite that simplicity, it still possesses a serious threat. Bondskipper, hard-shelled insect common upon the surface of shell. Once a staple for passing pilgrims. The way they skate along their surface is so elegant. Surely it is a skill that can be learned. Time permits, you should attempt the task. Pond catcher. Old catcher with shell pond bearing a long pin picket. Old catcher with shell pond bearing a long pin, stricken by the hunting. Once a hunter purely for fun, now they hunt thinking and thinking. Shellwood net, tiny soft creature that armors itself using the hard hollow of shell. If the woody hide is shattered, the bug will still bravely, foolishly try to attack. Wood wasp, pointed darting insect that builds a hardy hive from shellwood's dried bark. Destroying the hives will limit their presence in the wood. Useful to me now as I pass along branches. Dangerous in time for the wood's order, when a small disruption can tip a fragile balance. Splinter. Splinter, insect formed to imitate a branch capable of remaining perfectly still for long periods, but unexpectedly swift when roused. Avoiding their ambush is a good test of my senses and my ability to rapidly retaliate. Splinterhorn, insect formed to imitate a branch
sharp retractable horn on its head. Shells give, shell gives it advantage rise, but also forces it to a slender blade cannot withstand a heavy attack. A splinter bark winks at a flaky shell that perfectly mimics its environment. Its assault gets fast to death. Good eye, time flashing a spinning witch. Sister Splinter, posing old insect nesting in the heights of Shell. Her command of twig and branch should pilgrim ever survive in her territory. This one lived long, fed much. The wood much safer their slay. Asia, brick back disguised as a disperses crackling cloud of pollen red. Quite a beautiful creature. King's court have been highly favored. Valencia. Moral foe that cracks it home. I speeds pellets of crackling bone that burst on impact. What exceptional sense it possesses. Takes me even when not a single sound is made. Gallia, moral foe with a core shape mimic a mask. The core can be transformed from blood very back. The false mask alone is frightening enough to scare a pest. Yeah, that's like fake mask certainly is a little scary. Shrine Guardian Seth, eternal defender of Shelwood Shrine. His pin and symbol show many marks of their use. He offered fair warning and challenge, tool in the purest sense, admire his own skill. Nile, ancient heart of Shelwood connected to all its living. Their presence once have maintained the wood's frail, allowing the safe passage path across its branch. That's worm, warrior that nests in the Bellbane and seeks out hard bells to protect its soft body. I would very much like to build a fur, only they weren't so hostile. Winged worm, rooted back beneath a heavy bell, it has grown too large to burrow, but in its maturing has developed a small
huge and soft, a fantastic combination by their hunted aggression. Huge and soft, yeah, really. Parlit, small arachnid found in many crevices and caves throughout Farloom. Something in their assault reminds me of my own skill, though their talents are born purely of instinct. My technique is formed from hard training. Parlit Tiber, arachnid that nests within dark holes in cavern roofs, pounces on prey from far above. A small hunter learns to wait long in its ambush. A hunter learns to wait long in ambush, always ready to strike the first blow. Shardillard, devious ambusher that poses as a fossil. Once roused, the bug will crash its steely shell into walls, floors, and Sandcarver, shell-plated worm that lives beneath pools of shifting sand. Bursts forward at the moment scents close and will consume any object or bug careless enough to fall into its maw. Squirm, wriggling young crab that lives in darkness. If allowed the opportunity, these creatures will grow into a form larger and more oppressive. Judge, gilded guardian of the blasted steppes, bearing a symbol and a mallet. They remorselessly eliminate any pilgrim or passerby deemed pure to their sight. The countless husks strewn on the paths beside them tell of their conclusive decisions. Last Judge, final arbiter of the blasted steppes, tasked to ensure only the sinless ever step beyond the Grand Gate. The huge judge likely stood to rule through countless generations, never defeated, never wavering in their charge. Coral Firm, dark fruit bug protecting itself with a spiked coral nut. Its fur is thick and silk. Sadly lost to its hunting, I shall never safely be able to touch it. Drillsnit, nesting creature that fuses its face with sharpened coral. It is easy to be caught off guard by the ricocheting trajectory of its long mask, especially in tight corners. Drisnarga, large male Drisnit, ferocious and territorial, fires its heavy coral mask at intruders. A fine shot with its sharp mask. Its aggression has no ill effects on its aim. Pokenabbin, drifting creature with a white coral mask, and hard proposes to stab its prey. Passively waits for prey to blunder into its path. A technique that should not necessarily be the right. Whatever is effective is best. Conchfly, small bug that crafts a shell of sharpened coral. Spin its shell at rapid speed to cut through across the bone. The way it darts in and out of the ground has an almost playful quality to it, and an amusing and effective way to ambush prey. Rage Conchfly, elder conchfly crowned with a huge coral horn. Once partnered with a mate, they will rarely be seen alone. To pair with another is a base instinct, one that brings some bugs great joy. I once sought similar unions, but of my own mates, none could match my lifespan. Crust crawler. Soft-shelled scrambler cased in coral. Hidden amongst their tower's matching crust, the smaller bugs have survived and thrived. Crust crag. Coral hulk with a dense shell bred and sized by the citadel's memory. Nature distorted. This bug was born tiny and mild. The citadel deformed it into a futile hole it may sustain. Kai. Plump, plentiful drifter to a coral past. They once steamed around their tower in numbers immense. It is a rare chance to witness such a bountiful display of life. Spinebeak Kai. Steel-horned floater able to defend itself and its companions. A critical member of the larger flock. Without them present, the Kai would be fast driven to extinction by larger predators. Steel Spin Kai. Toughened Kai capable of extending sharp spikes from within its shell sack. Seeming soft but hiding a sharp surprise. Any larger predator attempting a bite would learn a pointed and painful lesson. Yuma, gelatinous coral drifter of simple mind and placid demeanor, a creature at its most basic. This one is no threat to me or any other. Yumama, larger gelatinous drifter chases away threats by hurling its bulk around. When defeated, it splits into many smaller forms. Yet another remarkable creature of this land before the monarch. Karaka, staunch and skilled blade bug of a once flourishing land lost to time, the core member of a powerful order trained fearless and faithful. Theirs was a kingdom of warriors, one built upon their blades. Kakri. Light-winged scouts frequently paired with their heavier brethren. Its training resembles my own, favoring fast strikes and rapid. Once a hunter, perhaps. Yago. White mask aerial attacker trained to act as support for its grounded companions, remaining at range. Not a frontline force, but in my assault upon their tower all emerged to see me still. Arak Core, heavy hard-shell charger relying on weight and strength. Far tougher for being matched inside their encrusted domain. They must have lived their whole lives within the tower to command it so. Alita, leaping hunter of a bygone age, the swiftest of their sect, deftly skilled with spinning foreblades. In contest of speed against strength, I have seen the swift more often triumphant, lesson I have taken to my own heart. Core-crossed Karaka, overgrown elder, able to spawn burning bubbles from within its coral-cased shell. This bug's fusion with the crust grow. It seems intentional, though I imagine the union is far from comfortable. Crust King Khan, ardent warrior lord of a bygone age, able to command the coral crust to its piping. For his stern stewardship, his legions seem utterly loyal. For less combative bugs, his would have been a hard rule. Watcher at the edge, old warrior guarding the border of their domain, stiffened by time and awoken by sun. They held long at their vigil, far beyond the age of their brethren, yet still when roused they swung their blade with remarkable ease. Boltburn, coiled nest of charged worms, assaults intruders with bolts of crackling electricity. Barely a bug and possessing only basic thought, yet instinct alone proved enough to turn it deadly. Drapefly, erratic flying pest that nests in racks and curtains. Like fabric somehow sprung to life, its belt is perfectly matched to the racks it infests. Grape Lord. Elder Drapefly grown big from age and consumption. Its heavy body allows it to hit much harder than its stronger companion. Reed will always see some bugs well above their kin. Grape Mite. Cloth-covered crawler with sharpened forelimbs, lives and breathes in dark places. Farloom structures seem almost built for them. The endless corners and cracks, so perfect for mites to burrow or nest. Giant Drape Mite. Full-sized mite of the Citadel cloaked in an old curtain. Few creatures of that silk-stricken place would find nourishment enough to grow so large. Underworker. Evil servant of the underworks with a long twist pin and a hard shell. With all their refuse collapsing throughout their domain, the worker's stiff shell would be essential if they held any hope to survive. Underscrub. Trained yet dedicated laborer wielding a coarse steel brush. That they ever hope to keep their domain clean, what futility. Underswept. Uses their steel bristle pin to scrub the soot from vents and pipes. Their sharp cleaning implement is as filthy as the rest of the place, the only layer grind and grime. Underpoke. Trained worker on the verge of collapse. Trained worker on the bench on the verge of collapse. Consumed by the hunting, they continue to work far beyond their mortal limits. They toiled incessantly for the Citadel, their shells bent and grayed, and now the kingdom's curse means not even death can relieve them. Underlove. Exhausted Bach grown sickly from the smog of the underworks. The workers' twist pins and stools of repair now serve as spawn projectile. The cost of so much grandeur. Did I peer closely enough into the foundations of my own king? Undercrank. Heavy hard-shelled worker, forever repairing the Citadel's crumbling underworks. There seem no ranks in their domain. This one has risen above the rest, a station likely granted to intimidation and thuggery. Envoy. Guide and oftentimes leader within the Citadel's core. Paths like these cross the caves to bring me to Farloom. I cut down many before my capture. Then I had thought them minded and cunning. Now I can see the singular will that hunts them all. War Bouncer. Nigel Pahan, one of few hardy pilgrims to have reached the Citadel. Once one of the Farloom's favored paths, and yet their domain and their shells would have been the first to fall to the hunting. Or Hornhead, full-grown formal pilgrim serving the Citadel. Did this one grow so large thanks to the Citadel's excess? Or was its formidable size the reason it ever survived to reach this place? Core Bellbearer, winged about of the Citadel carrying a brace of gilded bells. Farloom's proofs of the effectiveness of bells as weapons. Never before had I considered them as such. Interesting stuff. Many interesting stuff, yes. Many lore entries. Core Flyer. Also, on Jamlax. Happy to see you today. Core Flyer. Aerial Bach of the Citadel. Unarmed but for its short horn. For this Bach to have survived Farloom's climb, must have teamed with southern companions. I cannot imagine it succeeding. More Elder. Each formal pilgrim uses their wings to position above the threads and crush them under their large shell. Time allowed their shell to grow thick, all the better for battering their targets. Chorustor. Disciple of the Core, elevated above other pilgrims, and forced to call their face forevermore.
Their use of a pin shows hard training. Their use of silk, furled foremost, unfurled from a spool, helped close, shows skill far beyond standard paths. Reed, disciple of the core, church to maintain its perfect bordered by sharp pin if necessary. A form well suited for combat, light and fast, no surprise it seems to rank so high amongst its cult. Run through it. High-standing insect of the core bearing a bow, this elite Reed has been trained and fed beyond its smaller fellows. This bow bears a spool of silk, which they flail to attack. Though somewhat crude, theirs is a technique much reminiscent of weavers. I wonder who taught them such a use. Core Clapper, mighty percussive disciple of the core, wielding a mallet and a silk spool to wrap and enhance their attacks. There is no finesse in its use of silk. It consumes its slim supply only to apply its force. Lawmaven, puppet servant of the Citadel suspended on strings of silk, an early form of automaton requiring extensive silk to maintain its service. If given a chance, this one will steal silk from any significant source, including my own shell. Memoria, learned disciple of the core charged to maintain the Citadel's memoriam. From the outset, theirs was a hopeless task. Those wetlands could never be replicated within a space so artificial. Minister, gold-rank disciple of the core and direct servant to the Citadel's conductors. The lethality of these paths is unexpected. Their bodies were never built for combat. The hunting has altered their nature dramatically. Maestro, war commander of the High Halls, able to summon and command cockfights at a flick of the baton. Once they summoned song from their subjects. Now they rise only to command an end to dozens. Second Sentinel, Cohwork Knight of Farloom, once protector of its pilgrims and master of the Scissor Blade. The talent and intelligence of this construct goes far beyond others I have witnessed. They seem less built as a tool to serve than an attempt at life itself. Dreg Hatsk, remains of a citadel bag possessed by silk dregs. The husk will lash out wildly at the sharp pins cut inside its thread. There is old anguish bound upon these threads, the results of countless cruel procedures. Dreg, shell of a small bag possessed by silk. The husk will stretch its silk to form a crude crushing. Leaving silk commanding a dead shell, an affront to nature, and one all too common across Farloom. Surgeon, cruel physician of Whiteward, responsible for operations and modifications on the Citadel's bags. Their procedures will silk make a prolonged life within the Citadel, but they unknowingly gifted many minds to the monarch. Mortician, altered servant of the Citadel's Whiteward, responsible for the cremation of husk and the recycling of silk from their shells. It lies low to the ground, perhaps out of reverence for its task, but can spring up suddenly to attack. Its sheer makes for a deadly weapon, surprising reach. The unraveled, tormented wheel of countless husks made manifest in a pit of silk dregs. The soul of so many bags obsessed with silk, consumed by it. Their pain shall forever remain in that pit, Even I do not possess strength enough to cleanse it. Kochwork Underfly, small automaton built to work without complaint in the scorching heat of the underworld cauldron. It is no wonder these constructs were cast. Mortal Bach would last long inside that scorching place. Even my shell struggles to withstand its heat. Kochwork Hauler, small automaton with a shielded shell, intended to carry loads of dangerous flame. Born and built only to work until time stiffen its limb. Perhaps it is mercy this construct knows nothing of the freedom it lacks. Kochwork Crawler, automaton built in the shape of a scuttled Bach. Its back contains retractable spins intended to cut song cylinders free of any obstruction. Its form is certainly based on Bach's found outside the Citadel. In my own craft work, I too often look to nature for inspiration. Kochworker, lighted automaton responsible for repairing and extending the core. More effective an opponent that would guess. The precarity of its winding domain can make even its simple assault a challenge. Kochwork Spine, a spherical winged automaton housing many sharp spikes. I cannot decipher its function to the greater core. Is it built for defense? If so, its passivity seems far from optimal. Kochwork Korbach, Koch Forge of Iron, Rotor and Koch. The automaton works tirelessly to maintain the core that houses it. If the core... Its core is filled with fine mechanisms, but that alone should not produce such a convincing mimic of life. Silk must also be used to animate this artifact, though exactly how, I am not sure. Kochwork Cleanser, steam shooting automaton forged to clean the Kochwork core. Keep it free of infestation. An inspired use of steam, I must remember its construction when designing future tools. Kochwork Defender, Kochwork construct forged primarily for the core protection. There is a shield and a poke beam, and possesses a little understanding of their use. It has no true mind, and yet fights effectively, adjusting its strategy to where exactly are its thoughts written. Kochwork Clapper, rare automaton intended to perform the ringing of bells and cymbals in the depths of the core. I have not yet seen the bells this automaton is designed to ring. Do I ever wish to hear it? Such a clamor would no doubt be unpleasant experience. Kochwork Dancers, automatons of impeccable construction welcoming entrance to their chamber with a display of deadly dance. Two Kochwork Bachs, and yet souls seem singular, a sad yet masterful imitation of life, imbued inside shells of iron. Boldborn, young acolyte raised in the darkest vaults, destined to ascend to the rank of Scroll Leader. In entering their domain, I freed these Bachs to infest the greater bolts. They are a nuisance, and I have only myself to blame. Dampburn, disciple of the Whispering Bolts, tasked to navigate its dim recesses to retrieve old scrolls. An essential Bach if one ever hoped to navigate that dark maze of stacks and... Wow, there's so much! It's impressive how much this place has.
Hi, Belle.
Bonjour and welcome.
How are you today?
Scroll Reader, gilded servant of the Whispering Bolts, born to read and recall the near-endless scrolls of prayer. They ever truly understand those inscrutable scrolls? Or is it all merely pretense, an endless act to maintain their order station, the Citadel? Vault Keeper, High Keithbach responsible for delivering sermons and leading prayer for those beyond the walls of the Whispering Bolts. Most likely this one's true charge was to root out and condemn those not seen as sufficiently fervent. Alright, I'm trying to work on some art. Stuff and art too.
That's so nice. I hope it goes well with both your work and your art.
I'm quite a fan of what you do.
Trovio.
Haughty Despian convinced that only dazzling performance can raise Farloom from the thrones of death. His desire to see Farloom saved may have been well-intentioned, but he seemed quite happy for others to die upon the stage in pursuit of his goal. Tormented Trovio, the depressed Thespian consumed by the melancholy of a collapsing world. This one chose to embrace the doom to come. I shall not share such easy surrender. Penitent, humbled prisoners serving their sentence for sin committed within the Citadel. All are hunted here, the jailers and the jailed. Do they realize they will never leave this place, or how long they have stayed already? Puny Penitent, smallpox shackled and cowled for sin committed within the Citadel. Their thick shroud leaves them sightless, yet it seems to matter little. They have no care for their own safety, wishing only to charge at those they sense as sinful. Fresh Fly, infant fly freshly hatched. At this age, the soft blind fly is little more than a bother. The less this gruesome box breathes, the better. Scab Fly, sticky young fly born and grown in service to the slab. All creatures spirited into servitude, their plight elicits no sympathy. Cartfly, starved servant of the Citadel, bearing a hook-long ping. The smell from these jailers overwhelms my senses. I strongly doubt they have ever thought to bathe. Wardenfly, heavy, hairy jailer responsible for capturing sinners and punishing prisoners. Disgusting, both in manner and stench. I feel no remorse to see them felt. Brood Mother, mad matriarch of the slab, rarely seen outside her warren. From her, all jailers are born and bred. With this one vanquished, I hope to have sped the end of that jail and its distasteful order. Driflin, gentle glider of Mount Fae. Its downy wings and call allow it to rest even in the most cutting cold. This one would make a perfect pet, but for the freezing temperatures it requires comfort. Yamite, lighted creature formed from cold shard. If shattered, it will quickly reform. The cold shard, even when destroyed, it remembers its former shape. A remarkable material, and perhaps even more astonishing, there seems life contained within it. From cold shard. This large form carries so much weight it can barely move from its place. Servitor Ichne, a small construct built by weavers past, brought life to silk rules threatened within. Though the weavers have long passed from Farloom, this servant still performs its function. Servitor Boran, broken construct built by weavers past, able to fire a focused beam of silk light
to carve halls and chambers twice and bone. The servitor has been heavily damaged by time and the elements. Its actions have grown erratic. Seems no longer able to discern friend from foe. Winged life seed. Mindless sac filled with plasmium. When broken, the plasmium can be consumed for its temporary benefits to health. My unique shell can resist the darker deformations of this substance, but even I have limits. Plasmid. Mutated young form infected with plasmium. The new form displays potent regenerative skill. Arlum shall quickly learn the course of this substance. What benefits it provides can be swiftly outweighed. Plasmidas. Large worm mutated heavily by plasmid. The creature has become used to the rule of its cape, no longer able to move freely. In my home caves, when once this substance was allowed to flourish, I saw similar aberration. This is wonder tainted strong with repulsion. Plasmified Sang. Husk of an alchemist assistant granted false life by plasmid. He carelessly seeded this case with that cursed substance. His final fate seems fair reward for those efforts, yet I feel some sympathy. It is an alluring power. Leaf Glider. Fine winged flyer that survives in flux, so light they can rest atop still water surface. An elegant spach. Elegant bach indeed. Leaf Roller. Pointed scarier posing as plant. Simple, graceful, other fine bach lost forever from these lands. Pendra. Lighty insect that lives beside still waters. Though generally passive, their sharp musk can cause injury if carelessly planted in. Pendragore. Heavy insect that lives near large bodies of water. Its weighty body is best avoided. When they do not hinder my path, I find their simple motion rather pleasant. Nufar, predatory plant with a powerful jaw, shaped to resemble a lily pad. A snapping surprise on first encounter, though one easily avoided once aware. Loverstach, placid native of Britannia, its height closely mimics the flora of its territory, an impressive act of mimicry. To match so closely with its lands their clover caves must have sustained regenerations uncounted. Palestach, fabled first Cloverstach of Britannia's wilds, commands the grass and leaves to wait its attack. Meat made real in memory, the creature seemed completely at once with the flora around it. Did it ever truly exist, as I have seen it? Indanir, child of Perdania fully capable to fight despite its young age. Fierce and fast, and defending their lands even from birth, is a child to be proud of. Perdania, darting warrior with sharpened forelimbs and heightened senses. They rarely relax, always alert for potential danger. Even deep in their own territory to defeat them, my focus must match their own. Escalion, glidingly fast winged warrior, able to launch pins from its forelimbs. Born with many tools I would once have desired for myself. Fortunately, I have trained hard around those limits. Lower dancers. Dual princes of old Britannia, loved by their subjects for their grace and for the ballet of death they delivered upon their outsiders. For one to love another so similar to themselves, is that selfless
or pain. Almost done. Shadow Creeper. Shell-plated worm found on the deepest depths. Seems to survive despite some no further limits. A creature long familiar to me. I suspect that no matter how far I travel, if I descend deep enough, they will always be there. Shadow Charger. Bulky worm of the deepest depths. Lives in tight crevices and uses its weighty body to batter. These ones grow large, yet I have never observed them eating or sleeping. They seem such simple bugs. I suspect they are truly your cousins. Gloomsack. Tiny empty creature, barely a bug. Swallows its prey whole and sucks their nutrients until nothing remains. This one disturbs me. There is something in its simplicity. Do I almost feel fear? Gargant Gloom. Enormous tubular beast uniquely suited to living close to the void below. Amazingly, the creature carries the void's black liquid in its stomach, violently spraying it forth if threatened. Void tendrils. Flashing fragments of pure darkness shaped into sharp tentacles. The void that claim all things. The part form it chooses its nature can be seen clearly. In the part forms it chooses its nature can be seen clean. Yeah, interesting. Void mass. Dense knot of husk bound tight by void so silk. Silk and shells corrupted, that void seeks now to claim this land whole. These poor shells are only the beginning. Summoned Savior. Mass of old masks swollen and animated by grinding void. A creature born of a past desperate hope for strength. You possess the skill to call the void, and those that can, unpossess them into tame it. Wingmouth. Owls fly with a rune-edged shell. A tortured mist of soul and void is caged within. Root construct of my father's fallen domain. Only a fool believes that void can be fashioned their bidding. Carpet. Sightless borrower that reacts violently to the slightest sound. A common enough bug, though not to be underestimated. The acuteness of their other senses more than makes up for their lack of vision. Immova, slow drifting bug with a heavy top shell. The bug reacts little to threats, even those that could claim its life. The poor creature has lived a life calm and coddled. It would not fare well in the world beyond its walls. Skrill. Common crawler that lives beneath sand. This surface dweller is free of silk. Its nature remains its own. The monarch's influence must only have stretched below it. Bell Eater. Long dormant centipede awoken and enraged by Farlum's crumbling laps. A monster in the classic form of Tales from Java. Its slaying was done as much by my fierce traveling companion as by myself. Huge flea, oversized bug briefly consumed by anger after its long time caged. I would not have guessed so large and marvelous a flea existed. I am pleased it saw sense before he had to strike a killing blow. Chakra. Warrior cartographer of a tribe from Farlum's Edge. Her skills in battle challenge the kingdom's best. She has lived a mere fraction of my lifetime, and yet her rings prove a ferocious match. As gifted a warrior as I have ever encountered. one I am fortunate to call a friend. Carmont and Sasa, vigorous old knight and their noble companion, working together to see their lands cut free from haunted madness. They too seek the spectre at the hunting's heart, though I fear that foe. Though I fear that foe would pose a challenge beyond their mortal limits. Lost Garmont, old knight consumed by black threat. A tragic fate for a once honorable Bach. Those void-soaked threats, their physical might is nothing compared to the corruption they rack upon a soul. Pinstress, late maiden of a once renowned warrior sect, survived long beyond the rest of her order. I like her, for her willingness to teach and her spirit still strong, despite a long age spent solitarily. She has my respect. Widow, crazed fanatic able to guide Farlum's hunted silk by music played upon it. Her body seemed a weaver's, but her mask had been forcibly removed, and her own silk was bound useless by heavy pins lodged through her spine. That's cruel. First sinner, ancient weaver condemned from a transgression lost time. This one has held a masterful talent with silk into blazing. Throughout my life I have seen runes woven for many tasks. Was she the first to hold such skills? Phantom, mournful creature tasked alone to expel the citadel's choking refuse. Their talent with a long pin is unmatched. Though grey with age, their great form suggests a being strong from silk, one who welcomed a decisive end combat over a slow decline. Lace, manic fencer who delights in battle, a bug born entirely of threat. Much silk would have been needed to see her sustained. A frail form of life nevertheless. Grandmother's silk, monarch of Farlum and the primal soul and the primal source of self. Heart of the hunting, long lured to slumber and desperate to wake. The higher being's threads stretched throughout Farlum, snaring its bugs and diving them to madness and discomfort. And that took a little bit too long, like 2 hours easily. But that was all of the Materium and... what was it called? Those are basically all of the Materium and Hunter journal entries. Pretty neat. Very, very neat. We have little few tasks more to do before reaching the end. It's almost over though.
There we go. That's the one. Ouch. I want to talk to the Steel Seer. Oh wow. Oh. Nothing. What a shame. Yeah, there's no ceiling to reach. Ugh. Ew. Go fast, Hornet. Well, that works out. She must watch, record, and wait. Always she is true to her function or bound to duty. Bound by purpose. Watch long, record clear, remember. Bound by purpose. Bound by ore. Interesting. Grant Bellway, please. Thank you, Ada. Past the Cradle's peak, we have to reach. Oh, precious Sharma. Oh, hi, Sentinel. Huh. I didn't expect to see them here. Ah. Wow. There, Will. Go far, go high. One last climb. Ascend to the surface. Yes. License must be discussed, but Mr. Mushroom readjusts. Do they realize it would only be the beginning? If they clip themselves free, they need to find their way anew. Oh, grim child, no surprises to you who meets me here. Following me, are you? Or calling? It is true I would not have sought the land below if not for your grand action. But now, having journeyed their breath, what singular sights I beheld. Flaming lakes, tangled woods, capes by sand and frost. Remarkable, being so, though given their void-claimed state, it seems you and I may be the last to hold those memories.
Pasvin?
I cannot allow that outcome, Herald. I act now to save that place, both for myself and for those Bachs still alive within. As one who has seen so much, tell me, Sim, do you believe my efforts in vain? Me? Certainly you can ask, but I cannot provide good answer. I have no mind for doubt. Always my vision is too clouded by the present. Only the journey, the now. For myself, that is the purpose, and as far as my sight can see. If any other could come to understand that state, poor child, I suspect it may be you. Though maybe not yet, not this present. Maybe in a future far. Your actions might help me so again. Alas, from these quaking caves, it is past time I made my swift exit. Ours each may be long and winding road, but I hope you too come to know the many joys upon the path. You. Passing of the age. The wish has been granted. Keck. Descent to Farloom. Yes, please. Keck. They can't reach here yet, heck. Finally. Thank you, Bell Beast. With that now complete, only one thing remains for us. It is time for the end. A mighty adventure that was.
Megina Fora.
Forge I have acquired a power that will enable me to end this black madness. Soon, I will act to stop the quakes and save this land.
Mario.
Excellent, Pointybach. Your drive and your vigor both have proven surprisingly large for one so small. Now we have heard from Balo, told of his repair efforts upon the diving well below. By now the task is slightly completed.
Burovara.
If you are hoping to put his work to rest, then we shall wish again on your survival. And if our own service can aid your critical task, now we will continue to provide it gladly.
Sammene.
Benifrey.
Stay safe, Fortunator. If I require your aid, I shall return.
Burovara.
Our wishes go with you, Pointybach. Calm the raging of our quarrel that our task can contain. Continue forging, Fortunator. I will attend to my task. With 100% completion, only one mighty challenge stands before us. It's done, miss. I fitted the shell shield pills like new, better and new bay and new even. If you're planning another descent, head down holler, and I'll get you going.
To me again.
Your work is appreciated, sir. Now that with luck, the threat from below might soon be quelled and your lands shall rest calm. Well, good. I'm only really wishing to return to the forge on my regular duties. A little purpose routine. Frankly, miss, all these actions more a bit overwhelming for bugs like me. I'll be glad when it's all over. Providing we survive, of course. The new shell shield's all bolted on tight, miss. If you're planning another descent, head down holler and I'll get you where you're going. Thanks, Follow. Holler when you're ready, miss. The upgrade's all done. That bell's as ready as it'll ever be. It's time. We'll fight until the end, this gruesome void. Oh, that hurt. Okay, let's prepare with our best tools for this task. This isn't an easy fight, no. Attacks are useful. Conch Cutter. I'm unsure if the Conch Cutter attacks are better. The arena is a little bit too open for the Conch Cutters to fully thrive. These two are good, not the type that I'm looking for. This one is not too slow. Delver's Drill. I mean, she does have that attack that removes my tax, but what other tool would be as useful as it? We have the defense with the plasmium, and some little offense with the cockface. Besides that, what even is there that I could do? Well, I'll take a small break to get water while I think about it. Alright, I have decided that the Sting Shard might be the best tool for this. Considering you can just place it, maybe she'll run into it. And even if it were to explode, it could be still useful. Because it shoots all of these swords everywhere, so... Let's do this.
Yanara.
Child, I hold the means to descend. Let us meet one final time and quell this black ruin making.
Who are you hoping you'll find down there, Spider? An ailing child and a silk-starved beast? If so, I'm afraid we may surely disappoint. What is below is me no longer.
Cadestre.
Even if only your shadow remains, to release your mother's grip, my blade would be slain. Then why hold even this moment? Surely terror hasn't suddenly claimed your hardened heart. Take the final plunge, Spider. Join us in my drowning palace, and let oblivion swallow us all.
Da, Fenestra.
Oblivion may take you, child. My own life I shall not sacrifice. I have survived the fury of your land. I have borne its barbs and its blades. I have seen wonder behind its dangers.
Buenera.
But always, child, I remain the daughter of Hollow Mist, and the void below thinks that darkness belongs. Ever. Alright. Our final challenge. The bloom that repels the void. Oh.
Kestra!
Lost legs. Ouch. Ouch. First try. Whew. That was close.
Kestra!
Steel Soul. Wonderful. Big Blade Master, they prove you have a steel soul. You taking the time to explore and conquer the world of Hollow Silk Soul. Again with a new challenge. Game competition. Steel Heart. Yeah! Haha! Anything? Nice. Just test. Minutes now. That's cheap. The only thing that we haven't done is the completion. I don't know if I'll be streaming that good interesting. I will certainly do it on stream. Yeah, I don't think we can do. We'll prepare our torso. That was pretty good. Still so fast. Committed. Hard to believe.
search for this. I and oh. Six. Five. Six. See, zero. Yeah, thanks to. Yeah. Before we depart, remember we have a small Discord and I do post on sometimes. I hope to maybe start doing art soon. And I don't know what I'll be doing next. To be honest, we have done pretty much everything that could be done in Silk Song besides that last speech. I pick up game. Regardless, some by and I hope to see you today.